Who's in the slurp? Excellent.
Thank you. Welcome back to Yorkshire Tea XP. This is episode 21. I'm joined as normal by Big Mr. K and Bruce Leet. We're starting to become pros. We're pretty much pundits by now. Two of us are sharing an obsession still. Mr. K not so much, as you'll see as this goes on. And we will continue to bring you those laughs. How are we, boys?
I have had a stellar week. Absolutely amazing week. We're going to talk about it later. Man United won as well. We're winning the league.
What a game.
Such a game, man. It was so good. It's just good seeing us play like United. Because Ruben Amorim, and I've said this before, Ruben Amorim at home to Fulham would have had us playing a fucking back six and fucking defend well against fucking Fulham. Whereas we go out and attack, and even when they pulled it back to 2-2, we went and won the game. But also, what's really fucking just mad in an MFL sense is, you probably won't mind me name dropping him here. I got a message off fucking Air Japes, and I don't know if you guys know who Air Japes is, but it's wild because he was a FIFA YouTuber back in the day, back about FIFA 12 to about 14. He was quite a big FIFA YouTuber.
Oh, the name rings a bell now.
Yeah. I used to watch his series like religiously, Path to Power, and I got better at FIFA because of him. And then he messaged me talking about my fucking 4-3-3-D and how it was fucking really good. He was really impressed with it. And then I'm sat there giving him tactical tips. And I was sat there reading it. I was like 10 years ago, I was sat like watching your videos. So it was just a bit of a, whoa, mind fuck.
It's a real moment.
It was really fucking mad. And then I had other guys messaging me saying about how they were impressed. Like top managers, top diamond winning managers messaging me saying how they were really impressed. And what's brilliant is the 4-3-3-D that is set isn't the 4-3-3-D that I use. So it's like they're all really impressed with my dummy tactic, which is still just as pretty effective. So it's been a really good week. I'm on a really big high this week.
Good.
So
yeah, nice. Mr. K?
I've enjoyed all the content I've done this week. I've been enjoying talking about it. It was obviously really good to be on the Wender, wasn't it, boys? That was a nice, little sort of tick it off the list in terms of MFL experience and what we're doing here. Really enjoyed the ramble thing that I did
that was a good watch,
late in the week with Bastian jumping on. I thought it was great for him to jump on because I think it's brave of any of the MFL team to sometimes jump on and just talk openly and candidly about stuff. So it was
live as well.
Yeah, live exactly. There was no sending him things beforehand. It was all off the cuff as we went through it, and I've got a lot of respect for that, especially given there has been a mixed bag in terms of feedback about what people think and how they're feeling about it, and they've been vocal about it. It would have been very easy to move away from it all. And I also jumped on with Amrezy as well on Tuesday. Everything just all the invitations seemed to come at the same time. It's fine. I had a good laugh just talking it through then. In terms of MFL, bit flat if I'm honest. Bit flat about it. I've talked at length about various different aspects. I'm just not enjoying it this season. Just really.
Maybe you've done too much content this week, mate. Maybe that's it.
I wasn't enjoying it before.
Take some time out next week.
I wasn't enjoying it before, like feeling like this. But I was saying to you boys before we jumped on recording, I wasn't able to keep up with my cup games tonight because I was travelling. I've got back in, set up the podcast, loaded it up. I'm so indifferent to all. I said before, I got like 20, well technically 22 because that other team I bought were also through in the cup and they're awful. They'd got through to the last 16, so I had 22 teams. I'm just not asked. And literally I'm going from game to game going, I feel so indifferent about how I've done or how I'm doing. That's not good. It's just not.
We were saying just before we came on, like me and you have completely swapped roles from last season because I was doing the exact same thing. So it's your turn next season, Root. Oh. Next season, you've got to hate the engine.
It's not necessarily I hate the engine. I enjoyed how to play in the engine previously, or not necessarily tactically, but how you could do so many different things. It felt like, and you could see a direct response on what you did. I just don't feel like that in this engine. It just feels a bit okay. This is what I've got. See what you've got. Let's just roll the numbers.
One of my games earlier, I've never seen it happen before. So my left back, I should have found the clip out really. He was on the wing. He just taken it from the centre mid to him, and then he lost it. And normally he'd just go, oh fuck it then, sit down, cheese sandwich, you crack on. But he chased his man back, won it, played a 1-2 with a centre mid again, then slotted the ball home, and I was like,
nice.
I'm like, mate,
Nice.
I'm all over that. I was like, and I think, like I was saying to Mr. Cage before you came on, and I might have just briefly mentioned it, like, I'm loving it at the minute, but I think it's because I had that real mad busy time at work. Didn't get to watch any games at all. So I can't appreciate I can appreciate the result differences, but I've also tweaked some of my tactic, which we'll come on to. But I loved watching all the games I watched. They all played really well. The way the players were playing with each other, winning the ball back, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying, we still lost a few or a couple or whatever. I can't remember all the results, but even those, I still enjoyed watching the games. So I thought it's been great personally. But
have you had a better week then? Now that you've had more,
loads better week. Yeah, so because again, we had a lot of content, didn't we? I did Amreezy on the same day as the Pack Doc stream. Obviously, caught with you guys twice because of that as well. But then work-wise, it's just been a lot better. And I've caught every game since it's restarted on Friday. Yeah. So I've got Friday's games, Saturday's games, and tonight's all live as well. So it's been so nice just to be able to do that again and just literally feel the match engine. But like you say, I think the ones I obviously watched Fridays and the ones I watched yesterday night, and then obviously cup games today. And obviously the Friday ones, they were all right. But the way we played since I made my tactical changes, yesterday when I did Ranello testing, which I'll show up on the screen in a bit, and then the games last night and today, just like watching different teams.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Rum lads got a win. I mean, shock, fucking hell. Mind you, they are the worst team in the league, but like, still they got a win. But we'll see. Cool. So we're all in a good space. Great. Well, apart from Mr. K.
Mr. K isn't.
So we'll probably just drive straight through into our club check-ins. Then I think what we've said is we're going to do maybe a slightly deeper dive than what we ordinarily do. So rather than just go, here's our position, here's where we're at, I think we're going to just maybe say, well, only if we've done anything intentionally, if we've strengthened intentionally or done something different or made a change, or we're now going for something different because we find ourselves challenging relegation or fighting relegation or challenging promotion or something like that. So who wants to go first? Start of you two.
Go first, Mr. K. Let it get out the way.
Yeah.
Get it out the way for you.
Let me raise the mood of the whole conversation. I'm sitting here going, a bit of retail therapy, maybe? No, not at the moment. Right, Istanbul just got knocked out in the cup, 2-1. I had noticed I was playing the same person kept playing friendlies against me. This person here kept playing friendlies against me over and over again. Didn't seem to matter what I put in, he was doing it, and it turns out I was playing him in the cup today. So that's always fun.
You're not far out off the getting out of there.
No, we're not. We've
Not
got a horrible
far
goal
at all.
difference. I mean, I'd done loads of testing before last night's cup game against a 4-4-2, and we were getting some good results. We're losing a few tight games, and then we just got absolutely stuffed in the league, which you can't do much about when your defensive line does this. And we were set up exactly the same against all these different 4-4-2s of similar and or stronger teams. Which he has got a very strong team. I think he's third in the league or something. So yeah, it's all about beating those in and around us now. That's the main focus here. Just make sure we're picking up points around them and try and keep them up. But it was always an uphill struggle. Silver side, we won in the cup. Been picking up some decent results. We've leapfrogged. I was 8th. They leapfrogged us last night because they beat bottom of the league. So basically competing to keep these guys up in the division, but on this team I've actually got a much healthier goal difference. In terms of transfers you were mentioning before, Rue, primarily I'm moving players up and down my structure. Basically the right back in this squad, tier broke to 85. He's now up to 99 defending, and he's getting stats elsewhere now. So I moved him up into this team, and the defender that I packed at the beginning of the season here with the reward pack stuff with MFL, 84 guys, haven't moved a single stat. He's dropped down to the Iron team. Best striker went over to Monkey, because we did that 3-way trade up, which was a great fun, because then it turns out I was playing Monkey in the cup, which is fine. I wasn't really looking at anything, but my guy got a hat-trick against me. In the cup.
Bit sweet, right? It's so like...
It's not like the strength of the teams and the disparity between them. They're fairly even sort of teams. Very even game, and have come out on the other side of a 3-0 loss. So yeah, Striker's made the difference there, big time. But he's progressing nicely, doing all right in the league. Drew last night again. I'm trying to get consistency out of tactics, and I'm just not seeing it. Lost in the league here. I can't remember what happened in this cup game, this league game now. Don't know if we played particularly well. Nah, we didn't play particularly well. I have to say, Root, I have seen a lot of 4-1-2-1-2s doing very well when I've come in against various teams in testing. But yeah, I think we were quite an even game here because this formation and tactic is built just to limit the opposition. We got a sending off
in the
51st minute as a double booking, and then that was game over. Always left and right mids, always. Grenoble, top of the league, couple of draws last couple of games where they really shouldn't have been draws and knocked out in the cup. I'm not going to do all of them, boys, don't worry. Doing okay. This is not a very strong Stone team, but quite happy to sort of middling thing. I think this is one of the guys in our Discord was on about, Dan LFC, it was his team. Again, very even game. Looks like we lost with the last kick. I haven't even really gone through how the games have unfolded because I'm just like, yeah, okay. This isn't a very strong Stone team, but doing very well. I feel like they're punching, if I'm honest. They're through in the cup as well now. But in terms of a Stone team, they're not like that strong. But this guy seems to be scoring goals for fun. In terms of a striker, he's just quite well rounded for his rating and stuff like that. Peacocks, they just got knocked out in the cup as well. We had a sending off which turned the tide of that game massively. Comfortably up in the league, but given the strength of the team I put here, they should be. As a Stone team, that's a very strong Stone team, so they should be there really, otherwise I'm doing a very poor job. I'll make this the last one. These guys are hovering, as you can see. We're getting consistency because we just keep drawing. And they went out 1-0 in the cup. Again, I reviewed the game very quickly. Bit unfortunate to go out, but they've gone out. Yeah. And most of my transfer dealings have been moving players up and down the pyramid. If they've made progression, or they weren't getting enough minutes because of the way the teams were set up. And that's where we're up to. I suppose I should show the Yorkshire Tea XP boys. They're down to third now. I've had to move away from the diamond because here I moved away from the diamond because we won 1-0, lost 1-0 last night. I can't remember if this was a bad loss or it's just an unlucky loss. Yeah, marginally unlucky. Keeper played a 9 over here. Yeah, just not getting the goals on that one. But I moved to a 3-5-2-B because the diamond is just fucking awful in this game, in this engine. So I've had to move away from it for now. So yeah, they're doing all right. Should be okay long run. I didn't expect to lose to that team, and I don't think we should have done, but we did. So yeah, just all about trying to get these guys to make sure they're at least in the playoffs. I think Automatic now is gone after the last couple of losses because we've got 3 losses in the last 5. I think Automatic's out the window because this team's only lost 1 game all season. Yeah.
Guess we'll have to start thinking about forfeits then, seeing as that's what comes on the cards now if you don't get promoted, right?
That genuinely might give me the most fun out of this season because honestly, I'm so underwhelmed. I'm just so worn down by this season. It's just not fun. I'm just and I've got teams that are doing well, and I feel like I should be having fun somewhere. I'm just not. It's just not a fun engine to play in at all. So yeah,
me and Bruce love it.
Great. If people love it, genuinely, if other people are enjoying it, awesome.
Someone's got to like it, someone's got to not like it. That's what always happens.
And that's like, well, I can be indifferent to an engine, and I've tried to stick to the indifferent side. I'm just not enjoying it, and I'm having success. I just don't think it's fun, and it's a game, so it's supposed to be fun. So I'm a bit of a not sure how to feel about that now. But we are where we are, and hopefully it will be nicer to hear from you boys where you start talking about how you are having fun, because that sounds more positive to me.
Fair enough. Bruce?
Yeah, sure. 1 second.
Thanks, Mr. K.
So, yeah, in contrast to Mr. K, I am having a lot of fun. I'll start here with Newton Heath. we went out of the cup. If you remember last week, we were like down here, down in 8th.
Yeah.
Now it just shows how tight this is. We're now up into the 3rd spot, pushing for that 2nd spot as well. We're on a good run of form. Now we can focus on the league. We don't have to worry about the cup at all. So I'm hoping to keep pushing these. Wouldn't mind getting these guys to Stone. It's not the end of the world if they don't, but as long as we're competing for it, I'm quite happy. And yeah, they're doing okay. Not a lot to say. Didn't make any updates with them. Fortress just went out of the cup with a tough 1-0 loss. That was literally last kick of the game. However, in the league, we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We're 5th, doing well, just keeping it here. I'm hoping there's changes to the engine so I can bring back the 352B I was using last season, because this season I've had to modify it a lot. I think if it was last season's engine, I think I'd be doing even better than this, because it really outperformed it. But this engine has kind of equalised that. But they're doing well. They're doing okay. I'm probably going to ask Ron John to just take the same team on next season. I think no changes or anything. Just keep the same team. I think it's a good squad. Doesn't really get much progression at all, but it is a decent squad for Stone. And yeah, depending on changes to the engine, they could really be pushing for promotion next season, I think, with this same team. This is my absolute nightmare of a season, because I just cannot get the 4-4-2 to work. I play it on this team, and I play it on this Mamba Academy German team, and it's just not performing at all. Cannot get anything out of it, which is weird, because it's always been I love this formation. This formation's great. This season, it's just not gone well at all. I sent out my best player as part of the 3-way deal. I sent that Lego striker over to Monkey. I sent my best player in this team, Moskalenko, up to Mr. K's Keto Forest, because he was already getting bad match XP anyway, training XP, sorry, because he was the best player in the squad. And also because I can't get anything out of this formation. He's not getting the performances or the goals, so I thought it's better to put him in a better situation. So I've sent him up to Keto and brought in one of Monkey's older guys there. I'm at the point where I'm even considering putting this team into the because I'm not here next week, so I'm thinking about putting this team into the tactics corner for next week, because I just can't get my head around this. This team should be doing a lot better. It's not the strongest. Obviously, Mr. K's team is the strongest, but this is a team that should not be struggling in Stone, honestly. So I was like, oh, maybe hopefully if I just survive. But if you look how tight this league is as well, 11th, around 15 points. It's absolute madness how close this is. So, a couple more losses and I could be in the relegation zone. I don't want this team going down to ice, but I just can't get anything out of it right now, out of the formation. It doesn't seem to be favouring it. Clevo Castle.
Submit it in, definitely.
You are?
Submit it in for sure.
I think I will. Yeah, I think I will. Clevo Castle are a complete surprise to me, because I thought, I'm just going to stick this team in, mid-table in Stone, it'll be all good. But apparently my first team is jealous of Black Mamba, and they're like, no, we want to go up the divisions too. They're currently 2nd. We drew with a team who were first, who were also undefeated. Went through in the cup. We're doing, massive surprise, great run of form here as well. So as long as that continues, I could have another Iron team next season, completely out of the blue. Rick Nild Rift, I've been doing well. I had the opportunity to go top last night, and just out of nowhere, just a freak loss. Like the first time we beat it wasn't even that long ago, just before the break. We beat them 4-1, and then we came into the game yesterday, chance to go top, and we lose 3-1 out of nowhere. It was complete madness. We did go through in the cup today, which is good, and that's just netted me an extra 10k MFL, so I'm really happy about that. But thankfully, no one's too far away. We could still challenge. I know I've got James up next tomorrow, and I'm hoping, keep some good form. That was just maybe a blip, and we could keep some good form and maybe get these guys up to bronze. And even when last night, when I lost this game, I was like, you know what? It's a shock. It's a surprise. I'm a little bit mad about it, but I'll be okay if Black Mamba win. And as you can see, we came up against Sid's team and we won 1-0. Wow. which put us 5 points clear at the top. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself or anything because it's 13 games played. There's still a lot of games to go. You know, the biggest concern for me is like this team here in bottom, you know, haven't won a game. You know, minus 56 goal difference. They're the team that's going to beat me, if anyone does. So I'm more worried about those games. But as you can see, it's going really well. Beating this team was amazing. Sid was great, really, really gracious in Discord. He messaged me saying good game and congrats on the title. I was like, whoa, hold on, I'm not getting ahead of myself. There's still a long way to go. There's no way in hell I'm getting ahead of myself. And how's this for a run? I played Sid with that team, and then today I played against fucking Orange Fly. So I had a proper like murderous run like there, but now it's all over. We did beat Orange Fly 2-0 in the Cup. Which, again, a surprise because I had to rotate everything, full focus on the league, had to rotate, and we still came out with a 2-0 win, and that has netted me another 20k MFL just from that for reaching the quarterfinals. And what it's also done is it's given me another rest game where I can rotate players right before I play Monkey. Now, I've promised I won't gloat when I beat him, but I'm very happy that I've got another rest game right before him so I can go into that one full strength. And I think I don't know. It's still going to be a rotation game, but I think if I get to the semis and looking, you know, if the form continues in the league, I might have to focus a little bit on the cup just because the MFL on offer is so good. But right now it's all on the league. If the next few games all go well and we win them all, then I may switch a bit of focus to the cup to try and win that. But yeah, everything's going well. The really, really annoying thing is about this. Because look at this. Look at this guy, Lamidi. Played 13 games, scored 26 goals. You know, he's got like an 8 overall rating. He's playing in bronze. He's getting good training. And you'd think this guy would progress. He'd get some good progression. You know, 26 goals in 13 games, plus 1 defence. Fuck yes, just what you love to see. Just what you love to see. But yeah, things are going so well for me right now, and I think we should keep this engine forever. I don't think we should ever change it. It's the best engine there's ever been, and yeah, let's just keep this engine forever.
Like you say, I watched games at the beginning, and then I didn't watch games when I was busy, and then I've been watching games again. And to Mr. K's point, my 4-1-2-1-2 narrow hasn't been crap at any point. It just hasn't been. It wasn't exciting when I was first watching it, and it was like scrapey one. They were all 1-0s, and we were winning just because maybe we just obviously we scored more goals, but because we had more shots, some more went in. But then since the change I've made, it just looks better. I might even show one of the goals where I think my left back passed to my right back and he slotted it home. But when I'm watching it, I'm like, that's football.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I'll show you what I mean when we get to it. So let's have a look. I'm probably going to just take a situ through them because we've got a bit of time today. So I think let's have a look. So these guys were predicted sort of like 8th or 9th. They're playing so well. So I think this will be before I made any changes. So again, some wins and some draws. And then I guess these last 2 or 3 games will have been since the changes, something like that, since the change we made. But we'll just, you know, they're overperforming. There's actually a chance they could get promoted now. There wasn't a plan for any of these lower teams. Obviously, the players in there are Flint quality team players. So they're doing all right. Then you've got these guys, again, they were predicted about 7th or 8th, and they're just outside the playoffs. I mean, the plan's not to get them promoted. But these ones are out of the cup. So they've only played 1 game since I made my tactic changes, and we won 4-1. So we went from losing, drawing, this win, but against the team down there. But again, we just won convincingly. I know they're bottom of the league, but it was just the way that they played was just really, really convincing. Headland Eagles, again, 2-1 win after we'd lost. A couple of wins here, obviously. But, again, really good performance from the team when they were playing that game. So, I know it was a cup game. I think they were slightly better than us. I'm noticing I'm playing teams better and it's working out. So, I was happy with that. Again, I'm not really bothered about the league with some of these. The Wolves are right down here. I think they were predicted bottom anyway. They are not an ice team by a long shot. Like, they're not good enough for ice. It was just a license I just got because I couldn't get another Spark one, basically. So that's why I got it. Otherwise, I'd have got a Spark license. It was easier to get it that way. I think it was a location that was the reason why I got it. And then diving into some of the teams that I actually care about, like these sort of like ones up here. The Bulls, we went through like I think it was penalties. It was a mad game. Look at this, 26 shots, 11 on target. I think this is the one where I wanted to show the goals, actually. So I'll do that while I'm in here, actually. So let's just get rid of that. So our first goal, where the right back scores here. So this is our left back, and this is our centre mid. So again, I was talking about one earlier where the left back lost it and caught it, but these two combine in this formation now. He slots it through, skips ahead, bends it to the back post and comes in. But even when you watch the right back, it's as if like he's waiting and waiting and waiting, then just like dips in. I think the goal that we got here to take us into extra time, it's like just a little ball through the middle. But again, I wasn't seeing this in the first half of the season. So he just slots it through there, look, right onto the edge of the area. It's just lovely, lovely football. Like, just, yeah. I'm so enjoying watching that. And then, yeah, the rest is history, basically. I think we scored the first three pens, so that's what kind of set us on our way as well. So that was pretty good. Panthers, yeah, they're doing okay since the change, a bit up and down before. Look at this. This was before the tactic change. You can see the drastic difference. Like, this is a team that like they are predicted to probably go down. And again, they're not. I don't think they might be good enough for ice, but they're like low end ice team basically. So I think they are, but I'm like, it's about players you've got as well, because the players in this team. If I just go to my tactic, these players, their stats are really good. So like Ryberg, he's like 75 shooting, decent enough pace. And Borelli's a decent cam. He's like got, good finishing, good passing. So they're not bad players in the team. I think the left back, who's playing at left back, again, he's not a bad rounded left back and stuff like that. So they're good players. It just wasn't working. But then now with the change in instructions of what they're doing, so those players are obviously leaning into those team instructions, but mostly the change to their individual instructions. And yeah, okay, not getting ahead of myself, but those wins they were convincing wins as well. I felt like we well deserved to win, even though it says 2-0. I mean, 16, it's 5. It's just we didn't hit the target enough, but convincing wins. I think the one before, 21. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, keep the guys on the training field with this and get used to it, and then that 21 might turn into in the target 20. But maybe it's just a couple of tweaks, different players. Maybe it didn't rotate. But yeah, enjoying watching those. Rumlads, again, so we went out of the cup, like, just because we got a red card. Absolutely appalling. But we got a couple of wins again with this change. And before that, very sporadic.
Well,
they are predicted
rooted bottom. I was going to say, you were rooted bottom, so now that you're in 9th, that's like big time.
Rooted bottom, predicted bottom. If we can continue this, I mean, I'll take finishing 8th, to be fair, because I did not, in my wildest dreams, even think I'd keep them up based on the MFL assistant, because we are like, I think the team at the top was like 81, obviously, on the MMR, and we were like 72 or 73 or something like that. Like, no, that's not a lot, but that's still a lot when you've got a lot of games to play, because most of them are up close to that 80. So yeah, we were predicted rock bottom, and if we can turn this round, then yeah, keeping them up would be great. Just for nothing else, but the MFL I'll get. So if I can keep them in stone next season, and again, obviously that all depends on what happens with Dockside, because these boys are now finding some good form. 1-0, 2-0, 7-0. I mean, we had a little bit of a run there, but before that, again, absolutely shocking.
You are very welcome, Root.
I know. Now look at this. So like now we're 1 point out of the playoffs, which again we were predicted. So I think we are predicted about 4th with this team. So we are predicted sort of like here, but we didn't give ourselves much of a chance, as we can see in the history here. We didn't give ourselves any chance to be here. So getting to where we are now is purely from where we are here. I mean, shame I didn't have the tactic when we played Monkey, right? It would have given him maybe a bit of a run for his money. Maybe next time on the flip side, we'll see how that pans out. Be interesting. We'll probably be playing him. It'll be a few games yet, won't it? Yeah, February the 8th. So that's next Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. So we will probably have finished recording that time. So yeah, again, I mean, I'm happy if they just stay in stone, but if by some miracle they got in that last playoffs or carried on and went up, then Rom lads would inherently be better next season because all these players will have to go in there, and I need a whole bunch more players. Like, careful what you wish for and all that. So overall, I'm quite happy with how. Do you want me to do Ron John while I was off?
Yes, yeah, please. We forgot it.
Sorry,
We were supposed to do it last week, but because we didn't have an agenda, we completely forgotten it. And then as soon as we stopped recording, we were like, "Shit, we didn't even talk about the Ron John challenge."
Yeah. So yeah, overall, I'm happy. I'm happy with how it's playing. Happy with how it looks. All that kind of stuff. I think, and the changes. Yeah, thanks for all the chat we had for quite a chunk of time yesterday morning, which I know is precious time for people on Saturday morning, but it was really, really good to do that. So. So my team are second. We are 1 point from first. But look at the form. I mean, I just thought I couldn't send Ron John my change tactics because then the season's already finished. It'd be a bit cheaty, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? I can't really ask him now we're going, I guess. If we'd have had the conversation at the middle of last week, I'd have probably given him my new tactic. So, but I think Ron John will be happy with that, sitting in second. Are we an OP sparked side now? No?
No, all three of us are about the same. It's like we've all got like a few 70s and then it's all like low 60s.
60s and 50s.
Yeah, so
to be second in Spark, he'll probably be happy with that, I would imagine. I think that's quite an achievement. Mr. K in Spark as well as in third, but again, joint second. Technically, it's just a goal difference thing. Not far off first. Again, in pretty good form, to be fair. Yeah, all the way, pretty good form. Only lost 3 this season, only conceded 10. So that's not bad. Then you're in the division above, so it's slightly harder for you.
Slightly. I'm getting... Yeah. What's even worse is they're playing 4-4-2 as well, which is like just not going well for me.
Not going well. So, yeah, 3 points out of safety, which again... It could happen. Was you thinking of sending another tactic to him, or you just leaving it?
No, because I can't get the 4-4-2 to work.
No,
I just can't get anything offensively. I can get it good defensively, but then I've got no attacking threat at all, and I don't know how to fucking unlock it at all. It's really pissing me off. So yeah, I just left it as it is.
Fair enough.
Just let it see how it goes.
Yeah, I was going to change mine, but because I think because the transfer window's shut, I think if we're making any mid-season changes with Ron John, just from a moral point of view, we probably need to do it before then. I can't just go, I've made this really good tactic thanks to a lot of input from Bruce, and we've ironed it through, and then go, can I have this now so I win? Plus, it could be detrimental, couldn't it? Because we don't know the criteria.
I was going to say, you look at how you could win fucking Spark anyway, mate. So
yeah, so see how it goes. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm happy to see how it goes. But for me, it's just the buzz of being able to watch games again. It's just like you say, just so good to be watching games and just getting them live. And like you say, it's been a good week for all of us on the Wendirk stream when we talked about it at the beginning. But I think overall, where MFL is with us at the minute, heading into our 21st episode now, and being invited on loads of other people's pods. And like next week, I know you can't make it, but then we've got, I think, Andrew Q coming on this one if he can make it, and that kind of stuff. It's just really... The community vibe is just so good at the minute, I think, across the community. Our Discord's bouncing, if you like, every day. And there's stuff going on every day. It's just so good. Cool. So we now then lead into the Tactics Corner in the new format. So it was Clarino that asked us to help them. So I'll read it out. So sent us their club name, which was Sport Clubby... I'm going to really screw this up. Penavella Castello, something like that. The main goal is promotion and cup. So what he said is, the league is tight and the club is slightly underperforming according to MFL assistant. I also feel like we often get decent chances and match stats swing my way, but results didn't until somewhat recently. I've made some tweaks I've made recently. I've done some testing and watching the pod, hoping to make a couple of mid-season signings to boost some areas that make a promotion push. So some help squeezing out the most of my plays in the 4-2-3-1 would be greatly appreciated. And then he sent us his instructions across, his squad across, and then I don't know. I mean, I've taken the approach that I normally would take, try to make a squad that's similar-ish to his as best I can get it with my squad, and changed it out. I didn't do my homework last week. Obviously, I've done my homework this week. So I have already sent them my setup ahead of the pod, which is what I normally do. That's just there's no pressure on anybody to do that. That's just what I do. I did that for Ricky when we did the first one. So I have no idea if they've begun testing it or not. I only sent it maybe a few hours ago. Just save them waiting until Tuesday, really. But they don't have the context of anything until they watch it. So it's up to them. They're just going on it dry. It's just like you can wait to hear back. So which of you wants to go first? Do you want to do it the other way around this time? Do you want to go first, Bruce, on the tactic, or do you want to let
I can.
Adam go?
To be fair, it's probably better because Mr. K is more of an expert on this formation, and I feel like if I go after Mr. K, he'll have probably said everything I'm going to fucking say anyway, because he'll have a lot more insight and more depth. So I will go first. I think the beautiful thing about this is when I put this together, I almost exactly replicated his squad. Like the defence, I saw he bought a new defender who was 72. I brought in a 73 one just because the pace of the stats were fairly similar. But like the fullbacks, similar ratings, CDMs, similar, it's almost exactly the same as his. And I think that's good because that tells me that this is almost... He could almost plug and play this because the players will be very, very similar. He might have to make a couple of changes. Like my cam is better than his cam. However, I set him up as if I was playing as his cam. So yeah, I think this will be pretty good for him. Last season, I had nightmares about this formation. It really didn't go well. And I wasn't looking forward to doing it. And as you can see here, these first 5 matches, it was just... first 4 matches, that I did. It was just, I tried a couple of different things. I started playing real narrow because he's not blessed with a lot of pace. And then eventually when I got here, I settled here and then I didn't change from this point. As you can see, from here to here, completely undefeated. We had draws here. This was a variance game, outplayed them. We had 2 shots on goal for them, and they scored them both. Happens, we didn't lose. That's good. And then here in this one was what I mentioned last week. I just got 2 in a row where I had one-man teams. Not a single player in my team, in the team that I was running here, is above the rating of 73. And then when you come up against a team who are all the same rating except they've got an 84 rated striker, it's a fucking nightmare. But as you can see, again, despite that, we didn't lose. We stayed in it. We were the better team, and they, just because their strikers are really good, they managed to get the goals. So, completely undefeated. I think I unlocked it, and I'm very happy with how this went. So my instructions weren't too different from his. Now, he played it very wide, and he played it direct. So like I said, his team isn't blessed with pace at all. So I would say not play wide. Like, only go wide if you've got the pace. So I brought it down to here. I did start in those first 4 games. I was like about here, just under the W. But it just wasn't unlocking. So I put it to the middle, and it seemed to go well. The reason I went for controlled is this is a controlled formation. This 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, 3-5-2-B. These are formations that are set up and suited for controlled. So playing direct is kind of, again, you're playing direct, which is long balls up to the striker, but your striker's not very fast. Your wide players aren't very fast. So direct isn't the best way. Just go controlled, nice slow build up. All this was exactly the same as he had it. He, on the out of possession, he had this the other way around. He had his team depth here, in the middle, and then his compactness brought it in. I just swapped him round. Brought the team depth right down. You've got slow defenders, plus, for other reasons, put it here. Put that in the middle, and then this here, I think he had it on balanced clearances, but you're on controlled, so just do play out of defence. Your players are good enough to do that. Then go into this, the player instructions. Just one, I don't really need that on there because we're playing control, so just put play out of defence on him. On the full-backs, told them to cross more often. They're not great passers like the ones he's got. Cross more often, still works. In the defenders, just told them conservative passing. In the CDMs, now he had a better one and a slightly worse one. The better one was slightly slower, so I've replicated that. I've just told him low positional freedom, and I told him more aggressive. And then on the second one, I didn't put anything on him apart from more aggressive. And the reason I've done this is because if you see the mid-season report, it says CDMs and centre-backs aren't getting very many cards. So use that to your advantage and just put more aggressive on your DMs and your centre-backs because they play better. The middle of the pitch was just carnage. Once I put this on, these guys just broke everything up. Nobody was getting through and just hyper aggressive, getting in there, breaking up play, and it was absolutely beautiful. So like I said, take advantage of the data in the mid-season report. DMs aren't getting cards, put them on aggressive. Fuck it. Like, this is what unlocked the formation for me. So I had it on cross and dribble more, and I was playing about with high positional freedom on the cam, wasn't working. I put it on the left and right mids. And that just unlocked everything because I've said this before, when you put it on the light, they come up here, they go everywhere, and these two just come up and support the striker. I was worried about it because one good thing about this formation is how defensively solid it is. It is amazing defensively, and my problem with it was always the attack. And I was like, if I put high positional freedom on it, is that going to ruin the defensive solidity? It didn't. It just unlocked the attack for me. For the cam, I told him to take less long shots, because I think his cam's got like 50 shooting. You don't want him putting in shots from the edge of the box. And told him to dribble more often. And then the striker, he wasn't quite as slow as you, but I put him in the same mould. Not super fast, but a good finisher, which is what he's got. And again, you just want him to be a poacher. Tapping merchant, as I said with the tactics corner last week. Your striker, when he's slow and he's got good finishing, you just want him here around the 6-yard box, around the penalty area. You don't want him doing anything else. Just be there for tap-ins. And as you can see, like I showed you with the results, everything from there on, I didn't change anything, and we just, dominated. It was always dominating. It was always at like 2-3 XG per game, and it completely unlocked it. And then I'm like, well, fuck. If Rossonero Mamba could run into the 4-2-3-1, it'd be great, but I can't do it. So I'm really annoyed. I was so scared of it after last season's disaster that now I'm like, oh, well, now I can make it work. But none of my teams are built for 4-2-3-1, which is annoying. So, yeah.
Well, if it's all right, Mr. K, I might go next because I can probably follow that. To be honest, because I'm not that far different, although some of my results are, but I can see and explain probably why, considering the moment you went, this is what unlocked it, I'm thinking, maybe I just go and press 2 buttons on 2 players and I start to unlock it, because I have not been able to unlock it. So, but I'm not that far away in everything else, to be fair. So I started around here. This was not the formation I've got now. I got a loss. I got a draw. It wasn't working. I changed it. I got a 6-1 win. Thought I was the god. That was it. It was done. And then I drew again, won again, and then lost. And I was like, okay, still not quite right. So I made another tweak. And then I got a draw, a loss, a win, and then a loss. So very inconsistent for me. From about after this loss, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are on this same one I'm on now. And I just can't unlock, other than this one, which they may have just been a slightly worse team. I'm not sure. Let's just have a quick look. Were they?
Oh, they're playing 4-4-2.
Yeah, well, that might be why then. They're playing 4-4-2, and we obviously battered them. But other than that, I couldn't unlock stuff. We got a 3 here, but again, it'll just be, watch it be 4-4-2 again. Maybe not quite. Same formation. Very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
But yeah, I couldn't unlock anything. But I'll run through my setup, which I know I've sent over already, because it's not that much different to you. So again, I am slightly wider, but not fully wide. I just like to, when I'm coming here, I just want these guys over here a bit more. It's just how I like to be. But I don't think that's what's my downfall. I think the downfall's in the player instructions, if I'm perfectly honest. Again, I'm not quite as low depth as you. I'm just past the 6-yard box, and all these are about similar. I think the first few I was playing was on balance when I was doing the testing, and that was until you kind of put a note in there going, more often still works. You can try that a bit, and I did, and I was like, yeah, it does work actually, doesn't it? So
yeah, I tested with both. I've seen a lot of people go to balance press, and I'm like, I've tested them both, and the performances just seem to be better on more often. Like, I don't understand why people are switching it.
Yeah. And like you say, even though it wasn't unlocking, generally the players were moving forward. They just weren't always in the right place, which is probably that freedom element. But I am liking having things on more offensive at the minute. And like you say, I know I'm the same, not that many seasons behind you playing really, but it's only since we've been doing this pod that I've been learning more about how each of these impact and which formations are better with them. And even just from Saturday morning from our lengthy conversation, I just learnt a lot just then as well, really, which is really good. So, and then overview, I'm very, very similar, as you're going to imagine. Play out of defence. This, cross more on fullbacks. Oh, my days.
Yeah,
I love this in this
good, isn't
engine. Like, I just love, absolutely love. If you're playing a formation that's like this, or like Bruce said, the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, get this cross more often on your fullbacks. And believe you me, even if you change nothing else, the way that your team's going to just unlock in the final third is just different. Slightly different on these two. I'm conservative, but more aggressive on my centre-backs. I think you've already hit the nail on the head. I think we ran some tests yesterday and we had a bit of feedback with each other. I'm not going to say I haven't seen any, but I don't remember seeing one card for any of my centre-backs, by the way. I'm not going to say I didn't have any, even though I've watched all my games, but I don't remember seeing a yellow come up for any of them. So if I've missed one, I'm going to have missed one of them, or two at the most, across all the games I played yesterday and today. Not one of them has been booked. And they're getting in and digging in. So CDMs, I just put more aggressive on them both. Pretty much, again, just normally on my 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, when I've got one, I have low freedom on, as you know, so both of those. But because there's two, I probably overthink it, but I like to think if this guy's going forward, this guy's got a bit of a brain to not move. And if this guy moves, he doesn't move. It doesn't quite work like that, I know, but like I'd like to think it does. And if I put, and because I have that bit of weird OCD, if I put him on low, in my head, I'm going to have to put the other one on low, which is the worst thing. We've talked about this before on Football Manager.
Mine was only low because he's a slow.
Yeah,
he's
makes sense.
CDM. That's the only reason I did it. It's like
because what I did originally was this, right, which was the world's worst. Because I've got to have things as similar. So what I had originally was like, if he's on low, then this guy's got to go high. I'm my own worst enemy because it's not the right thing to do, by the way. And I did that in a couple of those early ones. Anyway, it is what it is. And then my cam balanced and dribble more. Didn't really do any more with him. Just balanced shots. Just again, because if he's going to support this guy getting any shots, I guess in your formation, because these guys are on high, I've got nothing on my left and right mids.
You don't even tell them cross or dribble or...
No, anything. Nothing. I did have them on... what did I have them on? Well, I had risky passing, because then we had that conversation. So I took that off. I didn't try them on high freedom. I don't know why. I'm not used to these types of formations, maybe, but I guess high freedom, like you said, would have got him up there and him up there, and I'd have cared less about him. And what I probably should have done was this: like left him on dribble, but I could have either left him not getting forward as much, so maybe just bring the shots back down, and then get this guy on high, maybe get him on balanced, maybe something like this on both these wing ones, so give them high freedom. Bit of balanced long shots and get them coming in.
I know you're not used to it. I know you're not used to it because you don't play with wide players, but your wide players should all have cross more often on. Or for this engine especially.
For this engine, yeah.
For this, all your wide players should have cross. Your fullbacks, your wingers, left, right, mid. They should all have cross more often on. Like it just works this season.
Just works. And then striker-wise, cross less often and balanced again. Just maybe don't need cross left often as much in this one striker, but I certainly noticed to make a difference in my two striker one, so I gave him that. But I guess if he was on that and they were on more, kind of would have given me that nice triangle, which is probably what we're aiming for. So that's why you said, as soon as you said it unlocked, I looked at your settings on here, which was something like this, I think.
Yeah,
something like that. I can see why that would be. Even if you just wanted to do that and something a bit different, it'd probably work. It's probably these two that are unlocking it.
Yeah.
The crossing more and the high freedom are probably what's really unlocking it. And these again, if you've got the right players, I guess, to do it. So yeah, that was me. Like you say, not that far away from yours.
Very close.
But I can see why you unlocked it more just by those wingers. That's probably I looked at LM and RM and I'm like, right, they're not the same as your centre mid. You're
just not used to playing with them, are you?
Got no idea. Mr. K, the master of 4-2-3-1, aren't you? Apparently, that's what it said in the Discord.
He's playing it on every fucking team he's got this season, so...
I am currently up to... I've got version 12 on my Istanbul team. You'll see here I've got version 8, version 10, version 11. As I say, I'm currently working on version 13 because there is no... I think I'm searching for something that doesn't exist. It's called consistency. I just don't think it exists. Whether that's a formation-specific issue, I don't know. But every other season, even if it was consistency in being shit, I could make it be consistent. But this season, it's just all over the show. And that's the thing that I always seek. It's just some form of some consistency, but I just can't find it in this engine. What I did on this one, I have been a staunch advocate for not using individual instructions based simply on data and the output I got from said data every single time I ran the simulations. I couldn't help but go back and try it with no individual instructions, and every time it outperformed. But what I did is the mid-season report, had a look at things and went, okay, based on the mid-season report and the data it's showing me, what should I be doing? And this is what I ended up running. And it's not consistent. It's more consistent than some of the other ones, but you do get wild swings in terms of output and stuff like that. I'll go for the team instructions. Heard what you're saying, Bruce, about controlled, in terms of the type of formation it is, in terms of how it's set up. What I have found with having that lower line and the defensive AI issues that the MFL team have said themselves is there is an increased incident rate of defensive issues and errors in turning over possession, weird spacing between defensive lines and stuff like that, and or just not tracking runners. So direct was almost the safer option, and with the low line it would make sense to hit teams more directly and turn the ball around quickly, hence the slightly more width to this formation. As always, less long shots. I've got dribble less often on, and I've got it on more offensive. You can see the low line there. I've played around with compactness. I don't honestly think it makes that much of a difference half the time, unless you're going extreme.
I was going to say, there's one thing, because like my conversation with Japes, it's something he pointed out to me. I don't think it makes a difference defensively, but there's something I'm testing right now, is the wider you put it, apparently you transition faster. Mm-hmm. And I'm currently testing that out, so I don't know. But defensively, you're right. It doesn't seem to make a difference, does it?
No, it doesn't seem to, unless you go extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played with it being about there. I've played with it being down here because you can't really go in between because you can see it hovers back and forth. And honestly, it just seemed steadier like this. So if we were trying to move the ball around, they weren't taking forever to spread out and get forward, because transitioning from that sort of width, as it were, to this attacking width is not a massive jump. Whereas if I've got it down here and moving the ball quickly, they've got less time to create this width, so we end up players trying to get into position while attacking. So I've changed it from that. I've dropped down the press, because what was happening with that low depth and medium compactness, if you started pressing and they say, I don't know, a DM or a centre back or a full back presses, they get beaten. Players are getting pulled out of position too much. So I've dropped it back to a balanced aggressiveness, and I do have it on play out of defence, which I know sounds a bit counterintuitive, but what often happened was the defenders got the ball and they've not got the ability, the goalkeeper or the centre backs, to hit the passes that I want, or they're not playing at the right angles, so I didn't want them hoofing it. So it tends to be that the DM and or the fullback is playing the ball direct, and we're countering teams basically. And this formation realistically set up to keep the number of shots down across both teams, get in the way of their shots, and play not to get beaten, because that's just the only way I can see this working half the time. Goalkeeper, I've got him playing out of defence because I don't want him hoofing it, because you don't tend to retain it if you do. Conservative on the defenders because, again, they're not very good at passing, and equally the amount of errors I've seen from defenders doing it's so stark. It's almost like this engine, as it showed in the data, on average there are less shots, but there's a sharper increase in goals statistically. It's like the chances that are being given are higher XG chances, and that makes sense given the fact that we have this defensive AI issue that the team are aware of and they're trying to address. So I'm trying to limit the possibility, as much as possible, in those defensive AI issues, limiting the opportunity for that to be the case. Hence the low line, hence being really conservative and getting the ball starting to play it out. One DM on low positional freedom, because I want him to be the sort of anchor and let one more be a little bit more roaming and helping support and carry the ball forward if needed. And I had the cam on risky passing in high positional freedom, just to try and do something a bit different up front, because I've had these guys on the various combinations of what you've shown, boys, in terms of like cross more, dribble more, risky passing, high positional freedom, and wildly inconsistent as to what I was getting in terms of output. I have tried controlled. I tested it from stone upwards last night in the league. 50% of the teams played this, 50% of the teams played the more controlled sort of style. Very similar to what you boys were saying, and I did have some more instructions on my wider players, like my fullbacks and my wingers, like Crossmore and stuff like that, because I do want them to eventually get the ball in the box at some point. And statistically, it underperformed comparative to this version, so I've just stuck with this version again today. Nothing. I don't think this is great, if I'm truly honest. I think it's a try not to get beat. But given the things that the mid-season report was throwing out as well about these less chances being created but the higher XG chances, so the better opportunities, there's more big errors, there's big game events that take place, I think it's hyper-focused at the highest levels because the players are better. They're more prone to getting the ball off the defenders, and when they get the chance, they're going to bury their chances because they're so much better. So when we're looking at levels, in terms of like we're looking at Spark here in this case, quality of managers is obviously naturally going to be one, but also the quality of the players. So even if they are presented with that big game-changing event, in terms of like the strikers that you'd have here, I'm not saying this guy's absolutely brilliant, this striker I've got here, but let's just load it up for a second. He's got 92 shooting with 85 pace. I'd argue he should be scoring more of the big game chances comparative to maybe one you'd find in Spark.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing. Those margins are hyper-inflated at the highest levels. Hence, like some of the mid-season report stuff talking about Diamond and some of the highest stats they're seeing there and them investigating it. That, to me, is the cause and effect. And that's the sort of outcome we're seeing.
It's strange, isn't it? Because I completely get what you're saying, but then you'd also think, well, then on the defensive side, it should also be the same, but it doesn't seem to be. This
defensive AI issue.
Yeah,
defensive
it's
AI
like
issue. In terms of breaking down MFL's acknowledgement of defensive AI being an issue, without us truly knowing precisely what of the defensive AI is an issue, how, if you felt like, I don't know, say it was tracking runners, say it was the ability to win duels, if it was AI in terms of, I don't know, the ball break goes behind the defensive line, how does the defender respond to it? Do they trap runners? Do they run into the right spaces? Are they taking up the right roles in particular to things? Because last season it was issues with the defensive line, so you'd have the defensive line all being solid and then one guy being 10 yards off everyone else, and he might be on the other side of the pitch to where the attack's taking place. So until you know precisely what the defensive AI issue is, you can't sort of try and compensate that with how you set up. Or maybe it's a bunch of different issues, but that's where, to me, a lot of these issues are arising, and it's just so hyper focused, and it comes to a very fine point at the top of the pyramid, because the players are so good, and we're talking margins in some of the diamond games, aren't we, in terms of the stats of the players, but if fundamentally the defensive AI is not working, well, the attacking AI is working. Yeah. The attackers are doing a very fucking good job. So it's like you don't need loads of chances. You just need to have one or two big game-changing high XG chances. And yeah, I think this is where I'm struggling this year. Every single season, I've kept it incredibly tight. I don't give loads of goals away, and I can create, and I try and keep it really, really solid. I'm finding that practically impossible this season. And yeah, I like to feel like I've got control over my team and the tactics, and if I get it wrong, I get it wrong, and if I get it right, great, I get it right. This year, I just don't know. I don't know if I'm getting it right or I'm not. I really have no grip with this engine.
I would ask you, if you don't mind,
Go
everything
for it.
I've done for this one, just plug it into yours and just test it and just see how that goes for you. Like what I've done for this Ford, and just see how it works for you. Because, like you said, at spark level, like yeah, it could be absolutely amazing, but then at like silver and plat, it's something completely different, isn't it? Because the player quality is completely different. But I'd be interested to know if that still works at your level.
I have had a tactic, I think it was version 8, might be version 7 now, from when you were talking it through and I'm going, I've had one almost identical in that the only variance was I didn't have my fullbacks and cross more often. It was practically exactly a carbon copy of what I've already tried, and I had the same issues. You just don't know game to game how if it's going to roll out, because even as I've always said with my testing, it's not even the result in games or testing. It's just okay. Well, we were unlucky today, but the team played well. Or sometimes, you know what, they didn't play well that game. You get games where they don't play well. It's that wild degree of variance on, well, how well does the team actually play in the engine? And there's not consistency with against certain formations, certain players. It's all over the show. And you said it yourself, I play 4-2-3-1 across my entire agency because it's just for rotational purposes it works and how I've set things up. I've got a massive sample size of testing this stuff, like ridiculous sample size, and I'm seeing the same inconsistencies. Acknowledging ice and below, we've got some wildly underpowered teams, so I take all that with a pinch of salt. Hence, prioritising cup games, and in the cups, I've been able to get a tune here and there, but it's all over the show. Honestly, the bit like I couldn't even figure out how to phrase this is. Start the season before the engine build was dropped. 14.0.0, which was the experimental engine, went to 14.0.1 on that Tuesday after rollover. That 0.1 difference was massive.
Yeah.
Massive. And I don't think I've ever really got past that because, quite frankly, I'd built my agency going into the season with a couple of weeks of testing on the experimental going, all right, this is where we're at. And expecting there would be differences, but it feels like a completely and utterly different engine. And I don't know.
But it is. It is wildly different.
I fundamentally think it is. And I can do, it's the engine's a puzzle, I can go out all these things. And you can see I've had 13. When I'm saying I'm on like version 13 of testing, this is not I'll throw a few games together see how it does. No, we're talking almost a sample size of 50 games per tactic, and I'm up number 13, over 500 testing, and this is gathering the data as well. And I'm still seeing the same glaring wild variance compared to every other engine build. It could all be down to AI, the defensive AI bit. That could just be the bit that is just causing all these issues. But that's the bit I don't like then, because I like to feel like I've got a remit of control over how my team are doing, and it just doesn't feel like that. It literally just feels like I'm rolling up to the game day every game, going right, I'm stacking all my chips on black and hoping for the best, and then we just see what happens. And that's not. I don't find that fun. I don't feel like I'm getting a tactical edge. Maybe it's a formation specific issue. I don't know. Because I'm a kind of hamstrung on what I can play. But that's just where I'm at. So yeah, in terms of the tactics corner, he was saying he felt like he was underperforming. He's currently 7th in the league. He's projected 4th. I know we take all those with a pinch of salt. 1 win puts him 4th. It's a very tight league, with the top team being noticeably stronger compared to everyone else in that league as well. Did he recently play Ibrahimovic? Is that who I saw him play? Yeah, he's played the team that was projected 2nd, and he lost to those. But yeah, I think in terms of where you are down there and the strength of that team, I think moving to controlled makes a lot of sense because you should be stronger against your opponents, so you should be able to control a game. You don't necessarily need to go direct.
I think he'd be better on direct if he had a striker like yours who's fast who can get on the end of the long balls, but he doesn't. He's got no pace whatsoever. So it's like playing direct. It's like his striker's not fast enough to get on the end of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, you'll. There's only half a season left.
We'll be on tweet next week. Yeah.
Genuinely, if other people feel completely different, I have no issue with that. Like, genuinely. And like you were saying, Bruce, you didn't like the previous engine, like last season's. And that's okay. You don't have to like it all the time. And I'd much prefer disliking the engine, but feel like I've got a handle on it. And I just don't like it as a result now I've got a handle on it. It's like the mix of the two. I'm just like...
I think we're obviously, again, the difference where we're at now as well from where we was season 9 and 10 is we're in development now. We're in development cycle. Whereas we had an engine that didn't then change for a whole season and it was being developed in the background. And now, every few days in the Discord, we're working on marking, or we're working on unnatural behaviours. There's lots of work going on. I know that's not in our live engine, but what I mean by that is it's going to be interesting to see what happens when we get access to that experimental engine and what happens. And
I also think that is contributing to the big uproar that there was about the engine, is because we'd had the same engine for 2 seasons, which is nearly 3 months.
Weeks.
Yeah, nearly 3 months. Like, and then suddenly something that is so different on top of it, and I think that's exacerbated like the reaction, like, because we've been so used to something for so long, and then it to just go woof. I think that's also not helped things. I think, though, I do think keeping the engine is a good idea if it's a good balanced engine.
But I don't think they can this one because of the defensive AI. It could be exactly the same, but they fixed the defensive AI, which is what I'm kind of expecting. But you were saying the other day, Bruce, about when they released the experimental engine, we should put our heads together and test it loads. Great. Could have done that with the last engine.
We could have done.
But 15.0.0 experimental engine, whatever they're calling it, and then on the Tuesday they dropped 15.0.1. If we've got that stark difference again, why am I using my time to do it?
Well, that was
so far apart to what it was.
That was my thinking behind it. It was because, we could have done that last season. And if we'd have done it last season and we'd have got a lot of good feedback on 14.00, then maybe the change wouldn't have been so drastic, is kind of what I'm hoping, if you know what I mean. So I was like, if we do it this time and we give them a lot of good, detailed feedback, then maybe when they drop that 15.0.1, maybe it's not as massive of a slick, because I seriously don't think they get enough feedback. I seriously don't think they get enough good feedback to make an informed decision on what happened. Because you've said it, like the change from 14.00 to 14.01 was night and day, and there wasn't a whole load of feedback really, other than people complaining because something went wrong, like from what I saw. So yeah.
Cool. Right, what we got next? Player progression. I don't know if.
Hopefully, this is going to make Mr. K happy. Come on, at least one of the area of the game's got to be good, surely.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't dislike MFL. Far from it. The bit I loved the most was just the tactics and the battle with every other manager, and feel like if I've won, I've got the tactical edge. I've done it. Or occasionally, I'm a lucky bastard because it happens as well. Yeah. This is it's like, let's all not look at the dartboard and throw darts and see who scores the highest. That's what it feels like. But other than that, I'm loving it. Genuinely, I love progression. I love building my teams. I love engaging with it all, chatting about it. I wouldn't be doing all this content if I didn't enjoy the game. It's just that bit. I'm sad that I'm not enjoying that, and it's just like, should I be worried about that? I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. But,
I think if it happens next season, then maybe.
And the thing that makes me think I'm not going mad is being in the DAO, there are so many big managers who've been around since the inception of this, have been around it long enough, who don't do the bitch and the moan, and they've had any right in previous seasons to do the bitching and the moaning. And we're talking about some of the biggest managers in the game as well, up there in Diamond, and they're saying the exact same things I am. It's not a case of, oh, you've just got to work out the puzzle. Absolutely, that's the mission statement every single season, but something's different this season.
Yeah.
And it's more fundamental difference in terms of people aren't enjoying it, and that is an issue, and it's a game. And if other people are, honestly, great, awesome, no issue with that. You're not wrong if you're enjoying the game. But I don't think it's just isolated people bitching and moaning because it's just not going their way. I think it's more than that. But yeah, let's do it. Anyway, I need to sort my life out and not be a... Oh, jeez.
Hashtag Mr. K is the moany one now.
Oh, miserable one, honestly. But yeah, let's do progression. Let's do it.
I'll go first on progression if we're switching around. It's still the same old story in terms of there's not a lot. But what I just wanted to call out is like, you're never too old to progress.
No.
So like this guy.
Are they retiring?
Well, not yet. They're not retiring.
Oh,
They just
honestly,
haven't done
some of my
anything
best
for
progressors
quite a
are
while.
retirees.
No.
But he's decided to get a cheeky bit of progression.
Nice.
And then this guy who I picked up decided to get a little bit better at passing, and out of nowhere from nothing for about 5 seasons got a cheeky +1. And you never know, that could be the difference where he just kicks on for the next however many years of his life. And then I've got a keeper who, this guy, I feel for him. I've just literally, he's got to be a starter. He's always been the backup keeper. You know, like, never the bride, always the bridesmaid. He's always been that. And, like, he's got this steady progression. And, like, now he's like, hold on a minute. Take a look at me. I'm 31 years old. I'm prime time. Like, play me. So, yeah, I started him in the last 2 games. And he's literally gone up +2 since doing that. Because I just changed him for rotation, literally, and then he's gone. You forgot all about me. I know I'm your backup, but I've got ability to. And he saved 2 penalties today.
Nice.
And he always was a good penalty saver. You know those hidden statistics that don't exist. He's always been a good penalty saver. That's another one for another pod. So yeah, they're the only things I want to call out. Progression's not really much changed, but like you're never too old to progress. Clearly. Have either of you two got anything progression-wise you want to show or say?
I don't know. You want to go first, Mr. K?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Go on, then.
Honestly, I've got that issue that some agency have now that you go to load your players or something and it takes ages periodically. Yeah. I get this. Here we go. So let's do current season. What I'm going to do is quickly look at the top end of the agency because I've got some +1s up here. I've had a number of tier breaks, which is nice from rare to ultimate. Nice. No, Lego. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So this right back's gone gangbusters. He's finally tier broke, and that's why I've moved him up to silver now. And he's just since he went to 98 defending that made him tier break, and since then that's when he got the rest of these stats on top of it.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully he keeps ticking on. This cam that I got, because I saw he had really nice uptake in progression last season. He went what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4 progression last season and hit tier jail. He's carried on picking up, but he's where is he? Here he is, up to 97 dribbling now. He's sort of going on a Madden. I think the strike happened last week. He's the one that scored a hattie against me in the cup tonight. I really wish this goalkeeper would pick up. I've actually just done a deal with, was it Goga? Yeah, Goga had a goalkeeper that was going gangbusters in Iron that was up to 89, so he's gone up to the gold team, and this guy's gone down to him. So hopefully he can get some progression in the second half of the season. And then a few guys down here sort of picking up a few stats here and there. But if I just go for the current season in terms of overalls, the guy that I've been talking about in previous pods, he's done naff all since he hit 84. He's just got stuck there. Mr. Henderson was one of the dollar buys at the start of the season. He's just picked up a load of stats out of nowhere and gone +4. This guy's going +3 because he's retiring next season because he's a knob. So he's for some reason decided to pull his finger out. This guy that was going crazy, he went +3 this season, and he sort of slowed off a little bit, but we're seeing a bit of a peak again. If he's gone +3 this season, he's 23. He's got another 2 years in this tier break thing. That's fine. This guy, actually, I'd sort of forgotten about him because last season he went mental. He's gone out on loan again this season to, I think that's Minimi, managing one of the teams, and he's the first choice striker there. He's gone up +3 this season, but he's hit tier jail again, so hopefully he can tick over. But what I was going to quickly do is do the whole, well, how many in the agency sort of vibe, because you always hear from people saying how bad progression can be at times. I mean, how many is that altogether? 301 out of 757. So we're sitting around the 35 to 40% mark in terms of the agency, having picked up something. So that overall is not bad batting averages, but it's when you've got an agency of 60 to 70 players, well, yeah, like every player is going to be worth a quite higher percentage comparative to, say, mine with 700 something. So yeah, overall, this is where I'm happy having this sort of infrastructure with all these teams here. That's the Spark team I picked up and stuff. I'm quite happy with that, having that infrastructure, because I'll always have somewhere to play the players. And at the moment, if I'm really honest, I'm kind of getting towards the end of the season and going, with my MFL at the end of the season, what am I going to do with it? At the moment, I might just hold it, because I honestly don't know what I need to do. So, is it worth me just holding on to it? Because at the moment, I'm on for a projected, I check after the Cup game, see, I'm on for 220,000 at the moment.
Oh, so close to that epic, that Lego
Yeah,
pack.
so
close.
Yeah, so at the moment, it's like, do I need to do anything? I don't think I do. I could literally just renew contracts with all the clubs and just go again, apart from where I need to loan and stuff. So yeah, I'm not really sure. However, one announcement, it might well be the final season that I'm running Keto.
Oh, really?
They
I'm
could be
YTXP
getting them
at this
promoted to
rate.
bronze. I did reach out to Bosco and sort of say, look, this is where I'm at. If they do go up to bronze, I don't have the agency to run a bronze team on top of everything else. I'm not in that position yet. So probably going to need to sort something out. So yeah, he was planning on jumping back in at some point. So I don't know when, but I'm going to look into him picking that up at some point. So then that'll be one club down, moving a few pieces around, because obviously I've sold a few pieces. So yeah, it looks like that'll be one club less.
Well, you say
see
that,
from
but
there.
you bought it, so I imagine he's buying it back.
Yes, exactly.
So
That's what
it's
I
going to be one club less, and then you'll immediately use those funds to go buy 3 more clubs.
Yeah, pretty much.
mean.
Probably.
Not yet, unless it's like it's too good a deal. I've got
Yeah.
enough clubs with the players I've got, so then it would be a case of, well, if I get another club, I need to get the players. And then
Yeah.
it's okay, where's that club? And what am I going to do with it? And there's always the possibility, because that's longevity, isn't it? Having the players expire, the clubs don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm currently up to. So progression's been okay. How about yourself, Bruce?
It's gone quiet again. I had that little, right before mid-season, I had that little spurt where loads of people started, and then it went real quiet. And what's really frustrating me is the guys that I'm like, well, you should really be progressing, at least something. Like this guy here, people are always mentioning about this left wing. He is an absolute demon. He's getting amazing match ratings. He's scoring a ton of goals, and he's just not moving. And I'm like,
His progression over his career, that's what I was going to say. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, he's had it.
he's had progression, and then I bought him here. So you can see he's just not moved for 2. And I'm just like, you're playing amazing. Like, you should be moving, and he's just not. And then guys like this, Sandberg, who I immediately packed, he had a great start to his career, went up really well. Like, this season doesn't count because it was halfway, but he was going up steadily. And then the last 2 seasons, he's just stopped. And I really, especially this guy, if I'm moving up to silver next season, now I think he'll be fine in silver.
Agreed.
Because when I'm playing testing matches, I'm coming up against a lot of silver teams, and he's still performing amazing. So I still think he'll be okay in silver, but it's like, there's going to be a point where I'm going to need to upgrade him, and I'd rather not upgrade him. I'd rather him just get better, and he's just not getting better at all.
I've come across teams like this in Silver, mate, who are they build a team around pace, and them having the key start in the one area outside of it, how they play, and they're fine. He will be fine in Silver. I'm almost certain of it.
Well, I'm hoping so, because he's quickly becoming my favourite player. But yeah, I'm having the odd +1 here and there. The guy I showed last week, this guy who went nuts, and he went up to 54, and then he's just stopped. He's just not moved at all.
He's at tier break though. He's all right.
Yeah, but
Tier jail.
54 to 55 isn't really a tier break.
Honestly, mate, it's a bigger amount of XP required, but what I've noticed with players like that, once they pick up a stat, they're about to pick up that running to potentially tier break. That's what I tend to see. Like
Right.
if they've been 84, I've seen it all tiers. Where they suddenly just stop, but when they start picking up a stat again, you know they're not far from it. So then it's like play them as much, put them in the best position, etc., etc., to get the most out of the games. Like that guy that I was on about, that Tizzy guy who's done loads. Yeah. I made sure he was fit for every single cup game because I knew in cup games it was against a similar strength team.
Yeah.
I wanted him to play in those games over league games, but that is a thing for definite.
Well, it's annoying because it was going amazing for the first half of the season and it's just nothing. So I'm looking out for another stat soon. So hopefully I will keep an eye on that. Something else I should point out, if you guys remember this guy,
Krebs,
Krebs,
yeah,
+2 this season, just out of nowhere. Go on, lad. He's finally doing something. He had 2 seasons where he was playing plenty of games, stuck him in the dev centre, and then he started moving. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Leave the match engine alone, fix progression.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm getting decent progression and people are moving. It's just at the top of my agency, and it's not like the old guys, I can totally understand it. Like, I'm like, yeah, they're old. Fair enough. They're not going to progress much. But then it's like the younger guys that aren't moving. And I'm just like, there's no reason. Like, why are you not? You're getting good match ratings. You're in a division that is suited for you. Like, move, for fuck's sake. Like, please do something. Like, look at all these guys I've got here on tier break watch that are just not doing anything.
When they all go, that'll be beautiful.
Oh, it'll be beautiful. No, it will. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's mainly at the top end, and I know it gets slower, but I really need Pereira to start going up because he's too good. He's too fucking good. I want to use him up to gold, and I want to use him in plat. Like, honestly, because he's becoming my favourite player. So, but I can't do that if he's an 83. But yeah.
Cool. Right, last section then, community questions. We've got about 6 in here, and then I might throw another one in that I've seen that didn't get put in here. We'll just see how we do for time.
Yeah.
Ricky Hyde, will Root be put on performance review after falling way short of the standard set by the other 2 hosts this week? I assume it means for not putting out the posts on Wednesdays, not asking for questions, and not doing my homework. Like, it couldn't have got any worse, could it?
We had a conversation. It was his first warning. It's now a case of we'll keep having these regular check-ins and agreed timeframes and agreed goals to be achieved. If not, then we'll have to start the formal performance management review process.
Yeah. As you can see, this week has been much better. We got an agenda, even though none of us
it's
read
about
it.
maintaining that.
It is, yeah. We got messages for the... Yeah, so... Yeah.
If he needs any training, he can highlight in the review meetings when we have these now on a weekly basis.
Well, you've said that you gave me a warning. You actually spanked me as well. You should still mention that.
I know. You
that was nothing to do with a performance review.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Brucey bonus.
Yeah.
I did ask
part
for
of
that.
the social that we had.
I did ask for that. Oh, God. Next question is an interesting one from Dan LFC. Who do you predict will be the next big content creator, stroke name, to enter the MFL space? And then he's given examples of people. Like, these must be the ones that he thinks are the biggest. He said Nep, Space, and Laird.
They're already in the scene. They're already in the scene.
Yeah,
I think he sort of as an example, someone like that.
Football managers, someone like that. Rather than people that are obviously in MFL or big creators already in MFL or have been. About someone from somewhere else. Do we think there'll be another one that will come in?
I think there will, because there's already a few. Like, I've seen a couple of FM YouTube. I don't know if they still are, like Tom FM. He's a FM YouTuber. I've seen he had a team at one point. I don't know. I think the next big one that comes, because I don't follow it, will probably be someone from FIFA. Because I do think this does have ultimate team elements. And from everything I've seen, FIFA are fucking going down the pan. I mean, I haven't bought it since like FIFA 20, so I can't say for certain, but it seems to be going down the pan, and there's a lot of discourse. You know how we're having discourse this season about this engine. FIFA have been having it for the past 8 years, and it seems to be getting worse. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a big FIFA YouTuber. I don't know who they are these days. I don't watch any of them, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a big FIFA YouTuber maybe make the switch and come. I couldn't say who, but probably from FIFA, I reckon.
We're getting to that time of the season, aren't we, where FIFA people who play the FIFA games are starting to move away potentially.
Yeah.
You've got the same with Sorare. Sort of people are starting to walk away from the Web3 sort of side of things. It will, and also MFL have obviously done a bit of a recruitment drive over the last 12 months, and they've got a bit more of a marketing team now. I can't remember the name of the chap now who's the Wolves fan, who is
I remember. Yeah,
he's obviously involved in the marketing side of stuff. I don't know what their sort of marketing plan looks like in terms of their long-term, medium-term sort of what goals they're aiming for. I don't want to throw any shade, but I've not seen marketing.
I've not seen a lot of marketing.
That's the thing. But it's like, are they going organic? Are they going to look for paid? Are they going to look for like looking for people that they're looking to bring on as ambassadors? But you imagine if they're going to do it, you'd start sort of building now with a view of, I don't know, in 3 months' time, 5 months' time, 6 months' time, that you're hitting something, you've hit a benchmark. So I imagine this first half of the year, maybe first quarter, we should start seeing something in terms of a marketing sort of push around this. Because I know they did it, Maturian spoke about it before, about like some of the content creators in the French space in terms of whatever sort of sports and how they've reached out through those. I think that's a web of a marketing campaign. I've worked in marketing extensively previously. That is a web. It's part of your arsenal, maybe part of your marketing plan, but there's so many pillars to that, and it's about funneling users into. They did the trial clubs, which they could obviously do again. I think if they do it in a short burst, potentially. I mean, this whole thing that Bastiste was talking about, where they're trying to fine-tune an idea of how can we have an experimental engine that we test for a season to get a season's worth of data and feedback that runs in the background while the normal season's taking place. That's almost like running trial clubs again.
Yeah.
And but opening up to anybody in the MFL universe, so it's not unfair. You've all got a hand in some capacity to test it if you want, and if you choose not to, that's on you because you chose not to. And you just have some incremental MFL-based rewards for participation and providing feedback. You can do all sorts with it. But it's how do you get people into the game to sample it, know it's for them, without them to shell out $80 straight off the bat. Because that's the biggest hurdle you're overcoming. It's the same with any sort of paid service. It's getting your customers to convert.
That is not for those content creators, though, I guess, because they're probably all right. But
well, you
the
might
general
give it
to
content creators, but if people are seeing things that they follow and you see that positive affirmation that they like this thing and you're seeing it without having to pay for it yourself, you're more inclined to go, well, I generally agree with their opinions on X, Y, and Z, that's why I follow them. I'm going to explore this a bit more now. But if the biggest hurdle is I've got to pay $80 to experiment with it,
I think I agree to a degree. I think like trial clubs was definitely the way forward. I think it worked. It's just how they do it and how it does. I think the difficulty was if they then didn't take up the club and how that all went, and if they did take it up, it's just figuring that part out. Because again, all those other creators, you still got to go by FIFA and that. I think the thing for me that it's probably from a purely selfish point of view, because we run the YT XP pod that we do now, and you've got the Ramble and Wendirk. Like the way I see it is, as part of the community, us three are the main focal point for MFL to drive it out, and it's really how do we get more collaboration with MFL or through us, so they can use a NEP and a LERD and a space, because a lot of these guys have come from there because they play it as a sideline gig, which is great because that brings players in, and I'm fine with MFL promoting with them. But what I really want to see going forward over however long is our three worlds, because we're obviously they're more OG than we are because we're still fairly new on the block. But I would want us to become what those guys are in their worlds. Does that make sense?
It does, but who we are and what we do, who are we putting content out to? We're not putting it out. We're not putting it out to new users. They might come across us when they are new, and that's great because we're helping really enhance it. We're vilifying it. We're positive affirmations around the brand and what it is and how good it is and where to get help. There's lots of that, but we aren't the mechanism to convert new users or to draw new eyes to it necessarily.
We're here for what's already here, aren't we?
Because people won't look for Yorkshire Tea XP unless they do MFL, or they come across us when they're doing MFL. What you want to be doing is getting users who haven't heard MFL, seeing it and going, that's interesting, you've piqued my interest, okay, what would I get from doing this? And I think free trials was a really good initiative, and it was good to make us doing it. But being really honest, guys, we had our free trial club. Did we do a whole lot with promoting? alongside having a free trial
We
club.
did a live thingy and
We
then
did
right
some
through the
of
stuff,
it.
but not loads of stuff. No,
But equally,
that's where I'm
have
saying.
we got the
though,
ability to do it?
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's the bit of the collaboration I'm talking about. So I think it was great that MFL gave us all the clubs and we did a little bit. But what if you look back, they could have utilised us and the Ramble and Wender or any community members. But you've got 3 mainstay pods now, if you like, haven't we? That's what we've got. Let's just be honest. I mean, I'm not saying, by the way, that when Net puts any content out and Laird does, I know he does his stuff, but they've obviously got fingers in different pies, which is absolutely fine and amazing. But with MFL, with the trial clubs, what we could have tried to do is done joint content with them where we did do something. It doesn't have to be within our pod now. We could have just put a 2-minute video together with whoever it was, however it was, in a production way. I'm not saying we all sell ourselves to that. I don't know how it would work. You know, obviously we're not, you know, like we don't all want to go into bloody trying to be on TV. But do you know what I mean? I'm just sort of like saying that you've got this thing now. I can't. Maybe I'm not
They
articulating.
need to go back to them at the acquisition funnel and work out where are they not acquiring users as part of that funnel from first hearing the name MFL to I'm paying for it. Where were we losing people? And I don't know that. I can guess, basically, but I don't know, and I don't know what they've got planned. But it is interesting, because I think that definitely it's getting the word out there by however means you market it.
Yeah.
I think the problem with the trial clubs and giving them to people, because I saw they gave them to a lot of the, like, you know, Jimbo got one and Monkey got one, and that's not really their content, I know, but what I would have liked to have seen is the people who got those clubs to have done more. Like you said, nobody really did anything with it. I think because I didn't get the free trial club, it was you who got it, but if I'd have got it, I think I would have done an entire series around that club on my own channel and promoted that. And that's something, you know, someone like Nep could have done and didn't really. I know he's got other commitments and everything, but people like Laird, all the people who got it, they just got it and they tried it and it's like, oh, this is cool. It should have been a condition of, we'll give you this trial club, please make content on it to try and entice people.
Marketing team, talk through the funnel, reach out to people like ourselves and or other ambassadors going, okay, this is what we want to give you. We'd like to see you do this in return. And we all agree to support each other and cross-promote and market and create content and do this and that. So you've got this constant narrative of pushing the game forward to more eyes. Because it could be a simpler case of new people from, say, Workspace and Nep, from different spheres, see it and they start exploring it. Then they see there's a plethora of content. And then they come across us and they see what we're doing that's new and how to do the trial club and what are some of the common pitfalls, how to set up your teams, how to do your tactics, all these sorts of things. And then from there they go, okay, but what's this podcast? What's this thing? What's that thing? But we're all working in isolation. It's the triangulation of that. But when they did trial clubs, they didn't really have a budding marketing team at that point. Seemingly they now do.
Yeah, not a lot was done with it. Yeah. I will be very surprised if there isn't something major before the World, like leading to the World Cup, because that would be a huge open goal miss if they're done. Like, so maybe that's what they're doing. I think I saw in one of the interviews someone did, they said it was like Q1's going to be quiet, but Q2, Q3 leading up to the World Cup is where they're going to start really ramping it up, and maybe that's why we've not seen anything yet. But yeah, that, like, they've got to use the World Cup to market, like, absolutely.
My take on that, you start earlier. Because every brand in the world is going to try and leverage the World Cup.
Yes.
You've got to start early.
Agreed.
Anyway.
No, it was good. See, we should have maybe taken that as the topic of the week.
Yeah, we could have done that.
I've got loads more to say on it, but I don't have loads of hours left. So, McBride, why does Root always message me after I've had 5 pints with shit offers my players?
Because you accept them. Yeah.
Simple as that.
Rape.
Simple as that. I have no other thing to say. Yep. Harmonica. Someone posted on the MFL Discord and never got an answer, but I've always thought the same thing. What's the best way to use a decent striker who has low pace?
Put him in the right position where he doesn't have to utilise his pace. I know it sounds simple, but that's exactly what you have to do.
I've got a guy like that. He's got like 40 pace, but he's got 80 shooting, and he thrives because of the system he's in. Like, I keep him on low positional freedom, don't want him moving everywhere, and you just need everyone supplying him. Basically, Yeah,
facilitate.
he can't be there to dribble or anything. He's slow. Just have him, like I said, tap him merchant in the tactics corner. Have him in completely static, and everybody else feeds into him.
His heat
And
map
then-
is a very small circle.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. If you've got him running about, it's because then he's not near the goal.
He needs to get the ball, only be getting on the ball in the right position.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the only thing. But then it's like, what's the system around him, and does it aid him in actually doing that?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
it's a passenger.
Yeah.
Clarino says, with club delegation coming soon, do any of you have plans to expand the agency with more clubs to delegate out, or are you all too much of a tactical control freak?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll just jump in first. I think as a YTXP pod, I think we will end up getting a community. We've already built like a logo and talked about that. I think we would absolutely love to have a team that we can give to somebody to run for a season, and then how we do that and how that works out, I have absolutely no idea. But one of the first things as a collective we will look to do is have a delegated community club, I think, and then we can bring that content into the pod somehow, and then obviously through the Discord and that kind of stuff. But from a personal point of view, I probably would like the idea to be delegated a club rather than delegate clubs, just to get a feel for places higher. If there was someone that, I'm not saying they didn't care about the club because I'm going to be really bad at it, but just if someone had a club and they're up like where you guys are in the higher echelons or whatever, and they're like, look, I don't have the time. Do you want to manage this club? And you can put some content out on YTXP or just manage it for me, whatever. And you get a feel for it. Please keep them up though. But do you know what I mean? I'm not worried about delegating out personally at the minute anyway.
I'm kind of the same as you. Like, I think my 3 academy teams, I've got 3 academy teams that I don't really, I don't cover them on the pod, I don't talk. And if it was sort of like a new player came in wanting to try it, I'd be okay delegating them it. But like you said, I'd be more interested in, whereas I want my main team to be Mamba and they have to be the highest team in the pyramid that I own. But I think if, like the situation with Kev, if Sid and Bob are like, hey, we've got this diamond team, could you manage it for a season for me? I'd be all over that. And I think that's probably what I'm looking most forward to. Because, when delegation comes out, I'm not going to be going to Trust and asking him, oh, can I manage one of your Spark teams? I'm going to be like, give me one of your higher teams and I'll try and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We were talking about the previous question in regards to next big content creator, how they're going to expand this. Maybe club delegation is that. That's an entry point for people who don't have to buy a license and get a feel for it. You bring your mate and you can delegate them a club and go, what do you reckon?
Just get
Have a go. I'll give you the players, I'll give you the club, you can keep the rewards. Have a feel and see what you think, because I want you to enjoy this thing I enjoy. Club delegation could be that.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm probably going to stick with doing my own version of club delegation, because I'm already doing it. Because until I know what the parameters are around club delegation, I don't know if I want to do it. I want to know exactly if I give... Like, Trust has talked about this loads recently. He's been on LED a couple of times. Until he knows precisely how that can be set up. Like, can that player... Sorry, that manager, you delegate him a club, can he sign more players? Because I don't want him to sign more players. I want him to use my players that I've given him. There's lots of stipulations here, but then we've got this, how many staff that can be available in screenshots we've seen and stuff. It's curious. Cool. I think we need a bit more there. But I do think you're already starting to see it. Club license prices will slow, especially lower down, will continue to creep up.
Yeah.
But people might do what you've done, but without the players. So people buy the club, like you just said, they just delegate the club out so then someone doesn't have to buy the license. Go do whatever you've got a limit to go what you loan from the loan market. So it all depends on the options we're given, but it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Because I think that would drive club prices up, because people, like you've said, you've got shitloads already, but people like Trust and that have got all their clubs. They could just go, right, well, I could run a lot less players and just delegate my clubs.
He wants his club players in clubs. That's why he's got so many clubs. He wants his players in clubs and doing development as a big tier structure. And he's got his own rotations. He's got it all figured out. So he doesn't. In his case, he just wants someone to run the club, as he would do to save him time. But then, obviously, with the agreement of they'll get a cut of whatever. But it's how that's all put together, really. What your options are. Because I imagine there'll be limitations.
I think what Trust said as well about it was like it'll be important to see what happens. Like if you're halfway through the season and the manager isn't performing, or he's not rotating properly, or he's just given up, having the ability to rescind it and be like, right, okay, you're not doing it, I need to take this back, and it not being cut off that way, I think that's going to be important as well. Like, there's got to be some safeguards to, like, people being a dick. Like, say you take someone's goal team and you get them to first, and then 2 days before the season ends, they cut the contract to take all the MFL or something. Like, that's a dick. But then you also have to have it thought about in the inverse. Like, if they're not performing, you have to be able to say, right, I'm cutting this contract. You know what I mean? So that's going to be an interesting situation, I think.
Even if it's just in the mid-season or something like you say, if you delegate to someone you don't know, I definitely want more abilities for clauses. If it's someone I know or someone in our Discord or whatever where you've got good comms with, you're probably more inclined to be a bit more chill. But yes, certainly if it's like where you loan a player out, a bit like an auto accept on a player, it could go to absolutely anyone. So similar sort of thing. Last question then from Ricky Hyde. If you started again on a new account with a $150 budget, what approach would you take? I'm assuming he doesn't expect us to buy a club with that $150, otherwise.
Yeah, you would.
Well,
You'd
okay, we've got to buy our club, so there's, well, in Mr. K's case, $40 gone. In our case, about $55. So what approach would you take with your $150? What would you do? The same approach you did before?
Knowing everything I know now,
Yep.
I would obviously take a different approach because, for one, my first club would probably come off the market.
Yep.
Just because it's a lot cheaper. So I'd probably do that. And then I wouldn't be afraid to buy old players. If I wanted them to go up, to get, depending where the club is, I wouldn't be afraid. I was a little bit afraid. I set like a limit of like 26. No one above 26. And now I'm like, the players are so cheap at the higher end. Like, just stack my team with like 30-year-olds who are all ridiculously rated and do it for really cheap. I think that's where I'd go. And the only other thing I'd change is the type of players I'm buying, because I look at stats a lot differently now than to when I started. Yeah. So it's just having more knowledge. I'd make more informed buys now, I think.
Mine's very similar to you. I would still do exactly. I wouldn't buy the club the same way, so I wouldn't buy a pack with a free pack. I'd buy a off the market club. I would have still bought it at whatever the lowest division is, exactly like I did with my first club. So it would be Flint now. Yeah. But I would do exactly what you said about players. I would invest in players and I wouldn't worry as much about the age. I very much was like 23, 24 under. And I've learned, especially when I've gone up to now with having the team in stone, you just don't need to do that. It's great if you really want to have them for a long time. But actually, you can get a player a couple of years older for half the price that could last you as equally as long, if not longer. So I know it's risk versus reward and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm not as precious about age anymore. And when I'm watching my teams this season, and some of my favourite players I've been fortunate to have, by the way, from being like 22, 23, 24, that are now 27, 28, and they're just so good to watch still. I'd have still probably been fine just buying them at that age. So yeah, very similar really to you. Mr. K, 3 clubs, I guess.
Yeah.
3 clubs.
Yeah, I think that's
if you're going into it, you got $150 budget, you get as many clubs as you feel you can get, and then if I can only get 2, I'll only get 2. And especially if the Flint or Spark loan, like
you
the amount of free agents you can get for 0% with game clauses, fine. I can build whatever team I want, whatever formation I want, to play however I want to play. How the players progress, don't care. As in, it's not my problem at the end of it. It's just I want to try and be competitive and see what I can do and prioritise cups and stuff, because that's where I'm going to get more of my MFL. And then reinvest the MFL rewards into players for myself. Or I'd be going, okay, actually, I'm going to reinvest by buying a pack and selling said pack. And then bringing capital back out. And I could rinse and repeat that structure as often as I wanted. Is it the most entertaining long term? Well, maybe actually, if I can try and get the club somewhere, especially if I've only bought, 2 licenses, I've got $50 sitting in the bank, and then I'm going, right, okay, if the right sort of opportunity, and I'll shy away from potentially gallery buying those who want to just ship their players out and just buy a bunch of players, and okay, I've got a little bit of a foothold. Players, especially lower down, in terms of realistically how much they're going to progress anyway in their career, they're expendable.
Yeah.
They expire, the clubs don't. So that's where, if I want to maximise my investment, it's licenses.
Yeah.
Because I can get hold of players. Because when I first came in, I was like, I'm going to struggle to get loans, so it's going to be a pain in the arse to get loans. lower down if you want a loan. It's a 2-second job. It's so easy. So easy. It's harder when you start getting higher up, but if you want competitive players or where you want to get to. But you can build a team, especially if you start networking, you can give up like 50% of your rev share and have a competitive team in most divisions you're at.
Yeah.
You think like in our Discord, if you people at the bottom, we had spare players, we're giving some of them away for zero, maybe a couple if we need to, or whatever. So if you're networking like you said, you literally could pick up a license and probably loan a whole team for way less than 50, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
in
absolutely.
Flint and Spark, even Ice, to be honest, you wouldn't be touching anywhere near that. I think higher echelons.
It would just be game clauses.
About if you're coming in, just be game clauses. Cool. That's us then, I think. So we don't have Bruce next week, as we've alluded to already. And that reminded me, the week after I fly back from being on holiday, just need to check all my timings. I think I will be back as long as we record at around about the same time as we did today. But
it's got to be 5 o'clock, Root. You've got to record.
Be there or don't be there. But I will double check flight times and stuff to confirm, because I'll probably want to. If not, then you'll need a back-to-back weeks of guests or go double. But I'll just double check it. But we've got Andrew. I'm pretty sure it's Andrew Q next week, and we'll.
It's a shame I'm not here. I would like to chat to Andrew Q.
Yeah,
I'm not here.
We'll have to get him on again. I'm sure we will. Right. On that note, we'll wrap up the pod. Thanks everybody. Thank you everybody for listening. Join the Discord if you haven't joined it. Links will be in the description on here. This will be out on Tuesday. Don't know why I'm saying that, because you won't know that until Tuesday, so that was pointless. And catch you all on the next one. Thanks.
See you later, guys.